you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Yo, GMS fam, the green room. What's going on, y'all? Happy Thursday to all in attendance tonight. I see y'all. What's going on? I see Charlamagne, A-Hop1, Team 642, Brim Dog, Arius, Ralph S, Kale Hill, Grits and Gravy, Ricky McDonald. What's going on, y'all? Queen Kale's in the building. Alma Dixon Cider. What's going on, y'all? You know, we start off every show with peace, love, and positive energy. I would have had some smoke going, but I was in the middle of rolling and doing last-minute research. So I ain't got my joint ready, but I'm rolling it right now. And if you ain't doing the same, I don't know what you're doing. We keep that green mind state over here, baby. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling? Y'all doing good? I see you, C-Mo. What's happening? Let me turn the music down. It's been a while since I had on my GMS jersey, man. I wanted to make sure I was repping the set today. How y'all feeling, man? Let me know how y'all feeling, man. It's Thursday. We got the day before the weekend, man. Trying to make sure y'all in good health. How y'all feeling? I see you, Justin Furlow, in the building. Yes, get them trees ready. Get the trees ready. If you don't got the trees ready, you are not in the right mind state today. Hold on, let me finish this joint, man. I'm dropping trees all over the place. You want to know one of the most annoying things to me when I'm rolling a joint is when weed falls out. This is very annoying. It's like I don't like dropping ingredients. You know what I'm saying? I want all that to stay in there, but it's almost inevitable when you roll a joint. A fatty big baddie. Anyway, what's going on, y'all? We got some topics to talk about, man. Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all in good spirits. Hope y'all getting to the money. Hope y'all chasing y'all dreams and goals. All that great shit. Keeping that green mind state, passing it forward to everybody else. We got some shit to talk about today. On the agenda, yes, we are going to talk about the Travis Scott interview with Charlamagne the God, which is very interesting. We're going to break that down a little bit. We also going to talk about DJ Akademiks and his appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast, which he's been doing plenty appearances on the Fresh and Fit podcast, but this one got a little hectic. He got into it with an IG model by the name of Whitney LaDon, and seems as though things got more than just wordy between the two. She might have pulled out the strap. It wasn't on video, but we did see part of what happened when she allegedly did such. Now, we're going to talk about that situation as well, and we're going to get to Dave Chappelle because Netflix put Dave Chappelle on their comedy festival, and of course, the fake outraged are pissed. They do not want this to happen. But you know what? We're going to get to all of that. But first, let's talk about this Travis Scott interview. Now, Travis Scott appeared on Charlamagne the God's channel, See the God. And this was labeled A Conversation with Travis Scott and Charlamagne the God. This is where Travis Scott, for the first time, speaks out about the tragedy at his Astroworld Festival that left 8 or 9 people dead and multiple people severely injured. Among the people who died were 2 young children ranging from the ages of 10, I believe, 9 and 10 and 14, I want to say. And then up from there, which is it's a tragedy in itself. And there's been so many questions surrounding everything that happened, you know, from who's to blame, what happened, you know, even the conspiracies came up, whether if it was a sacrifice or ritual, whatever was going on, demonic shit. All this stuff came into question. And I'm just going to pinpoint a few parts of this interview now. I would have played it, but just for the simple fact that I want to be on the good side of YouTube, I'm not gonna show it on my screen, but I will play the audio that I have, and we're gonna dissect that for you guys. Let me put this picture up here first. Hold on. Damn, Travis, you ain't gotta be so motherfucking big on the screen, nigga. Damn. All right, now let's get to it, man. This is Travis Scott. Now let's open it up with this, because he's gonna answer those questions too. Charlamagne's gonna ask him about a ritual, demonic, all that shit, satanic ritual. He's gonna ask him all that shit. But first, he's gonna ask him about the night and what basically how he felt, what he felt transpired. Listen up.
Now, let's talk about that night, man. When did you find out things got as bad as they did? Now, that's the question everybody wants to know.
Yeah, it wasn't really until like minutes until like the press conference until I figured out exactly what happened. You know, even after the show, you know, you just kind of hearing things, but you don't know. I didn't know the exact details until, you know, minutes before the press conference. And even at that moment, you kind of just like, wait, you know, what? Like, you know, you just went through something and it's just like, wait, what? You know.
So you didn't know people that actually passed away and stuff?
Nah.
Wow.
Until minutes before, you know, which is, yeah. You know, and the thing is like, you know, people pass out, you know, people, you know, things happen at concerts, but something like that, it's just like.
Yeah, people.
I will say this. During his interview, you got to understand something. It is very hard, and I can't. And if you haven't seen the interview yet, you have to go watch it after this. You could see that it's very hard for him. He's the type of person that can't really show emotion. It's very hard for him to show like genuine emotion. I get the legal part of it, not saying much about certain things because you want to stay in the legal lines of things. But if you're remorseful about what happened and you feel bad about what happened, whether you feel like you take blame or not, it was a tragedy, man. People lost their lives, children lost their lives. So it's like there's a certain amount of emotion that kind of goes into this, you know what I'm saying, for genuine people who have genuine feelings. And in this interview, he was trying to make sure he said the right things, but also with trying to show certain emotions, he failed at that. He definitely got an F in that.
They collectively heard folks screaming help every time you stopped the song to get your attention. Did you hear any of those screams?
Nah, man. And you know, it's so crazy because I'm that artist too. Like, you know, anytime you can hear something like that, you want to stop the show. You want to make sure, you know, fans get the proper attention they need, you know. And anytime I could see anything like that, I did, you know. You know, I stopped it like a couple times to just make sure everybody was okay. And I just really just go off the, you know, the fans' energy as a collective, you know, call and response. And I just didn't hear that. You know, I got music, I got my in-ears, but I just didn't hear that, you know.
Break that down a little more. Like nobody knows what it's like being on stage except for other artists. So speak to us from that perspective of what you can see and hear. It was like, what, 50,000 people?
Yeah, I mean, you got like a venue, you know, filled with like 50,000 people. But it's like a sea. You got lights, you got sound, you got pyro, you got your in-ears, got your sound, got your mic, got the music, you got band, there's all type of, stuff going on.
So it's hard to tell excitement from danger, so to speak?
Yeah, of course. Everything kind of just sounds the same. And at the end of the day, you just hear music, and when you do, you just hear amongst of things, But when you're in a show, you just enter the show, and anytime you can feel anything close to you, you try to like definitely get to that.
So before we continue, I will say this. Like I said this when it first happened because a lot of people had the assumption that artists can hear what's going on way far into the crowd of fucking 50,000 people when they've never been in that situation before. I even had somebody who is an artist try to argue with me on this standpoint because they said they've performed at festivals before, and it's like, yo, you're not Travis Scott. And that's not even in a disrespectful way. I'm just talking about as far as the energy of the crowd, what's promoted for this type of show. You an acoustic guitar playing ass nigga. Nobody's jumping in the fucking air and trying to get to the front of the stage. They sitting there probably smoking, probably off some fucking DMT, waving their fucking hands in the air trying to recreate Woodstock. You can't compare your festival experience to this guy's. Now, thinking that he could hear what's going on is one thing. Thinking that he can see things is another as well. A lot of the stories where people were getting trampled on. And if you have a sea of people standing up and there's a bunch of people under a bunch of seas of people standing up, you're not going to see those people on the ground. You're only going to see the people standing up. From that standpoint, it's a sea of people. So I understand that part. But we're going to keep going because, like I said, he does a horrible job at showing emotions and trying to really thoroughly speak things out the way that a person who genuinely feels bad about the situation would.
As an artist, how much can you actually, I guess, help in that position?
You can only help what you can see, you know what I mean? And then, whatever you're told, you know what I'm saying? Whenever somebody tell you to stop, you just stop. But just wasn't it.
It wasn't that night, huh? Raging has been a part of the culture, of your shows. You didn't on this night, but in the past, you've encouraged, I guess, the kind of energy that could have led to something like this happening. Do you think that contributed to the energy of this night?
Yeah, nah, I think, it's something I've been working on, for a while, of just creating these experiences and trying to show, like, the experiences happening in a safe environment. Us as artists, we trust, professionals to make sure that, things happen and people leave, safely, you know what I'm saying? And this night was just like a regular show, it felt like to me. As far as like, the energy, it didn't feel like it was like, people didn't show up there to just be harmful. People just, I think, showed up to have a good time, and then, something unfortunate happened. And I think we really just got to figure out, what that was,
Does raging make it harder to identify when something is going wrong in the crowd?
Well, I think, raging is just they have a textbook, definition, but, in concerts, we've grown it to be just an experience of having fun. It's not about just, harm. It's not about that. It's about just letting go and having fun.
That makes sense. Ricky McDonald said, I think he's kind of socially awkward, so he falls short on the emotional side. I could be wrong. Nah, it seems that way. He's not very out there as that type of person. He does seem very socially awkward. And a lot of people who are socially awkward who tend to find fame kind of find an escape on being the most lively one. You know what I'm saying? Because that part of them, that was a part of them that wasn't being showcased, just as a regular human being. Now that they have notoriety and now that they have fame and they have fans, they could be able to express themselves in certain ways. But then when it comes to these fucking interviews, it goes right back to, who they actually are. I get that.
Help others, love each other. It's not about just, harm. That's not what it's all about. The show.
Now hold on. We gotta skip forward a little bit. we have to skip forward a little bit because Charlamagne asked him the question about responsibility. If he takes any responsibility in anything that happened during Astroworld Fest. Listen to this.
Security at most of the events, but he was just letting us, I guess in that statement he was just saying if we do anything outside of what we had on our itinerary, let them know.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't even get to that point.
It's crazy. Just being here kicking it with you for a little bit, like I can see that, this is weighing real heavy on you.
Yeah.
Can you see that, Charlamagne?
How much do you feel a sense of responsibility for what happened that night?
Well, fans come to the show and have a good experience, and I have a responsibility to figure out what happened here. I have a responsibility to figure out the solution. And I gotta, and hopefully this takes a first step into, us as artists, having that more insight of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And the professionals to kind of, surround and figure out more of an intel, whether it's tech, whether it's more of a response, whether it's whatever the problem is, to figure out that and in the future moving forward in concert safety, make sure it just never happen again.
But let's talk about those professionals. Like how much responsibility do you think like Live Nation and Score More, the promoters, have in all of this?
I mean, they do their job of, setting these things up. So I mean, I think, they when we dial into what, specifically happened here, I feel like, even they can kind of help, figure out what happened in a sense. But at the end of the day, I think collectively, everyone needs to just figure out the bottom line solution. But, especially in concert safety, definitely got to have, make sure that, these things are, done right.
He didn't answer that question at all. He didn't answer that question at all. He's making himself look a little bad, but at the same time, he has a whole PR team. They probably coached him the entire time before this happened on what to say. Of course he's not gonna be like, yeah, it's Live Nation's fault, because they'll be quick to be like, nah, we told Travis to end the concert and he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll quickly shift the blame real quick. So of course he's not gonna put them on ice. But man, the way that he did this was it was awkward. It was just awkward. Now the question of the whole interview that everybody was trying to get to was this right here, and it's gonna take a few minutes to listen to, but I want y'all to hear how he answers this question, because Charlamagne got to the grits and the gravy, shout out to Grits and Gravy, of the whole ordeal and asked him, was this Astro Fest a satanic ritual? Let's get to it. Hold on, where is this at? Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, we got it. Don't you worry, don't you fret, chat. We still here. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Follow me on my socials. I'll follow everybody back. Hit the Cash App if you're feeling generous. Let's get to it.
About for that.
Roll up too.
Some people say your music played a role in this. Like I've seen them, cite lyrics, that encourage this kind of behavior. I've seen them say your music is demonic and this was a satanic ritual. You think your music is to blame?
I mean, no. I'm a man of God. So that's the first thing first. And, so it's just, yeah, that's that. And, your music is just like self-expression, you know what I'm saying? And at these shows, I feel like people kind of like look at things, and if you've been to a Travis show, it's been different layers of shows, I think people are just, misconceptions and taking things they're seeing and, all type of things, and I've took pride in trying to, grow from where I was when I first recorded music to now when I'm going in music. So yeah, I just think people gotta, and that's one thing with me is just people gotta kind of, experience it sometimes. And I think that's what it was. People were kind of like, even before, people were hearing about it, they come and experience it and taking away their own thing. And it's always going to be an outside opinion. But, for the ones that, really believe in me and, understand what I'm about and what I'm doing, no, that's not what I'm preaching. I always preach like love, always preach understanding, always preach, take care of your loved ones, love each other. You know what I'm saying? Get out your ideas. Never let yourselves be stopped.
He doesn't necessarily explain what all the imagery and everything was with his concert, and certain things that were said actually during his concert that had people coming up with this conspiracy of whether or not this was a satanic ritual of sorts at the Astroworld Fest or Astrofest, whatever they want to call it. In Houston, it's really a situation that is, I mean, it's gonna be they're not. What are they gonna use that in court? They can't use that shit in court. What are they gonna say? Or the family's gonna come in there and sue them because of what? They can't do shit about that. That's all gonna be a conspiracy at the end of the day, which is why I don't see why people even waste their time to even talk about it. We know it exists. We know it's there. It's whether or not you fuck with it or not. It's not going to hold up in court. But at the same time, it's whether you going to fuck with this shit or not. Let's continue to hear because he has more to say about it.
Love one another and step into that,
What up, Lady
I think
Aries?
that's a part of it, but the music does encourage people to be violent at these shows.
He said, Bartholomew said, yo, does this channel support the LGBTQ community? First of all, if that's what the algorithm of Dave Chappelle brought, then, I mean, damn. But also, yeah, shout out to them. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no hate over here. I don't hate nobody. Love who you love. Do what you want to do. It has nothing to do with me.
I mean, that's what the rage is about.
I mean, most of the music is me sometimes talking about what I see at the shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I'm talking about the shows, and so that's just the energy. You know what I'm saying? But the energy isn't to come and start, being ultra violent and just being violent and hurting each other. That's not what it's about.
Hey, that's one thing I do want to say. Yeah, Simo said Travis called the imagery and visuals his art. Yeah, that's cool. But he said he's a man of God, and I seem to recall somebody else who's very big in the industry who's claims to be a man of God and still doesn't have to show a certain imagery as art to try to expand his fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, fuck it, I'll just say it. I didn't want to compare the two because there's really not comparing the two, but Chance the Rapper is the type of person where he'll talk about God in his music. He'll have whatever type of imagery he wants that depicts something that has to do with God, and he's still a big artist. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to have demonic imagery to try to, build an incredibly huge white fan base. Because that's really what it is for hip-hop now, because they understand the demographics. See, a lot, like I said, a lot of these people probably don't even really believe in this shit, but they know that majority of the black people that is into this music aren't out there buying the tickets to these shows and going to these festivals. And if you want to be one of these people that get the bag and be close to headline these festivals, you got to have a huge young white fan base. And a lot of these kids are into that fucking imagery. Let's keep it real. That's really what it is. And that's the type of shit that will fall back on them in a situation like this. Let's say I don't know whether or not Travis Scott believes in the devil or believes in God. Let's just say that he doesn't believe in the demonic imagery and he's just using it as a way to project his career. Now look what happened. Now you have an Astroworld Festival. People die, and the imagery that you use and the wording and the words that you use and the different shit that people can put together and say due to the things that you did that you call art just to try to reel people in. Now you have this on your back. Now people think that you're some type of satanic entity. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. But one more minute of this. He has a few more things to say, and then we gonna move on.
So it's more so supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah, it's everything is, and it's about what you experience at the shows and what you see,
Will this change the content of your music moving forward, you think?
What happened here wasn't off Travis Scott music. That wasn't, oh, now you need to like switch up. No, I mean, I've made all different type of music in the first place, I've never was just like one lane or one genre of anything in the first place. So I just think it's all about experiences, and I feel like, it could be music to come out of it. Lyricism, just emotion. Music is emotion. And music is healing. And you can just find healing and find emotion, in that, and just more progressive. Everything I'm trying to do is just more progressive.
You said you're a man of God, and when I even said that, they say your music is satanic, I saw the face that you made. Where do you think that even comes from? Travis Scott is satanic. Travis Scott is demonic.
I just think it's just things people collect. People look at the internet and they just collect, and they look at things and they look at visuals, and you have all these theorists and people just thinking they're looking at visuals and don't understand, just the idea of like what art may be or what you're trying to do. They're just making up your own message, especially when you're not out there like yelling the message all the time. It's just, yeah.
And when they say this is a community event, Astroworld.
Yeah,
so they say a community event is a satanic ritual. How does that?
Yeah, that's
make
like
you feel?
it's crazy because it's like I do this for people to have a good time. We have rides, we have games. It's things for people to get off creative experiences. It's not the show is at the end of the day. It's like and that show is just something based on what's just things. It's not like.
Just
like,
things.
why would we wake up one day and just trying to, that's just evil is not what we're a part of. We're not trying to be a part of that. We're trying to be a part of joy. We're trying to be a part of light. We're trying to be a part of full-blown happiness, love, understanding, people taking care of each other, community, people to leave from these experiences and want to go out and do good. That's literally what we want. We want to show them these things, We put everything into this festival, this is our third year, so we try to put, every year we put everything into the festival so people can enjoy it. It's not about just come perform. Not that, it's things for them to do all day.
Look, man. In this case, I could say it backfired for him. I don't believe that Travis Scott believes in the devil or anything like that. He's a kid from the South. By default, he grew up in the church. I'm just saying. He's a black kid from Texas. By default, he grew up in the church. Now, I'm not saying that means that, people don't change their mind later on down the road, because people do. But I don't necessarily believe that he believes in that type of stuff. He doesn't go too hard with the shit. There's people that do it subtle ways. He does it in the subtle way. The subtle, obvious way. Not the subtle way, but the subtle, obvious way. Like, he'll have obvious imagery and, like, it'll be obvious shit, but it'll be subtle to where it's not like him saying, yo, we finna go ride with the devil tonight. He don't do that type of shit. He'll have, like, imagery of him. People will see it and then mix it with the music and just kind of, the subtle, obvious shit. Which lets me know that those motherfuckers just be using it, spark either controversy or to try to build that fan base. Cause they're into that shit. Those little teenager kids are into that shit. Whoa, are we back? Are we good? I hope we good. Are we back? Let me know. Uh-oh. We might be experiencing some problems, you guys. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, GMS fam. Are we good? Can y'all see me? I think so. I hope so. We good. Can y'all, we good? All right, cool. Now, let's move away from that. We gonna let Travis Scott work his shit out. All right, we gonna let Travis work his shit out. Now, let's get to this motherfucking shit with DJ Akademiks. Now, for those who haven't heard, DJ Akademiks was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and there was a altercation between him and an IG model. That's what they're calling her. So I'm just assuming that's what she was. I don't know if she's otherwise. Never heard of this person in my life, so I'm just gonna go with what the label is. He got into it with an IG model named Whitney LaDawn. I don't know what happened before. I don't know what the conversation was. All I know is that Fresh and Fit podcast always has these women on so that they can go in on them or talk about them or degrade them, whatever they want to do. I don't know what they do. They do this shit for entertainment. Now, something happened to where this girl that was on the show, I guess, stepped out of bounds. And it ended up being a back and forth between her and Akademiks. Let's see what happened, man. Let me move this up for y'all so y'all can hear what happened. Sorry if it's too loud too. I gotta make sure I turn this down. All right, listen up, man. This is what happens before, or this is what happened after, like way later after the show. The show ended after all this happened, but check this out. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play some more audio of what happened, and then I'm gonna show you his response to what happened that night. Take a look.
Why you mad at her? What did I do? Yo, shorty. I was trying to dismiss you because you're a broke ass bitch who wouldn't get a babysitter who was talking about you gotta go home to your kid. Nigga, go home to your little nigga and go handle your business, nigga. Go handle your business, nigga. Go handle your business. Go handle your business, bitch. Short, go handle your business.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
All right. You gotta go. Go handle your business.
There was a dog there. Dog said, "I'm out."
Go handle your business.
That dog was out.
This ain't Christ-like. You got you gotta have to expose you on that. Go handle your business. I'm not gonna talk to you, nigga. Shorty.
Yo, eat a Snickers. You're not yourself. You're not yourself right now. Eat a Snickers, bro. Eat a Snickers, bro.
Please give me my mic.
Eat a Snickers.
Bitch, go home, shorty.
Eat a Snickers, bro. You're not yourself.
You gotta go.
You say with your life.
Please, so peacefully.
You ain't Christ-like.
Hey, Bartholomew is this nigga from Fresh and Fit. That's who that is.
Mo, go over there.
Y'all shouldn't have niggas recording this shit with phones.
I ain't gonna play with y'all. The moment she said that guy, you gotta kill. She said that guy.
Mo.
Yo, shorty, get your bitch ass on out of here, shorty. Get the fuck on out of here.
This is your bottle.
So that happened on Fresh and Fit, okay? Now, a lot of people are talking about how Akademiks wouldn't do this to a man in real life, but he's quick to do it to a woman. I want to. Can I ask Act? Can I ask Act? Because I feel like it's only right that Act tells his side of things in person. And it seems as though I have DJ Akademiks here with me today. If if y'all want Akademiks to come on the show and tell his side, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. The man is here. The man is here. Y'all want him? Y'all, I got. He's right here. Y'all didn't know I was plugged in. What y'all think? Should I? All right, Act. All right, Act. They want you to come through. They want you to tell your side of the story. They want you to tell them what happened the night that you was at Fresh and Fit. All right? Y'all ready? All right. Come on, Act. It's what you get at GMS, man. So, I just want to talk about what happened at the night of Fresh and Fit. And I just want to let y'all know that it wasn't my fault. This girl in particular, this IG model, this stank scallywag of a woman, she was talking greasy to me, and I decided that I wanted to, defend myself. She was talking crazy off the bat to me. Akademiks, the real Akademiks, DJ Akademiks, King Akademiks. She was talking crazy to me. Do you think for a second that I will allow this skis bucket scallywag ain't got no hair in the back? You think I would let her talk to me like this? Get out. You know what? Fuck this shit. I don't have to take this shit no more. This old little ass fucking platform anyway. GMS, man, you don't even deserve 2 minutes of my time. I'm out. Oh. That's how you feel? Shit. Well, there you have it. Akademiks came through, and he let it be known what was going on, and I guess that's what it is. What did you say? Oh, he said he put out a video explaining what happened. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Let's see what happened. He said he put out a video explaining what happened. Let's hear.
There's a moment I'm looking at her, in which, this is dumb. I'm telling you, this is dumb. Like, for y'all probably think this is cool points, but this is dumb. And, I kind of regret doing it. Because obviously, a fucking lunatic, you don't know what they're going to do. But, as I said, Shorty's clutching with her hand in her bag. And I ain't gonna lie, I walked up but it's what I'm saying, it's dumb. It's dumb nigga shit. Now I know she's doing this, but you hear me, I'm like, nah, reach for it, try it. That's obviously because, like, I'm looking at my man right here who's ready to, like, if you gotta put it down, you gotta put it down type shit, you know what I mean? But that's just kind of encouraging and inciting a little bit, so that's not, and not necessarily encouraging and inciting, that's just putting myself in danger, which is just not smart. You know what I mean?
He left his red cup.
I can't encourage and incite somebody who's already pulling a weapon, right? But situations like that, I'm gonna be honest, the best move was to stop, drop, and roll. You know what I mean? Like, so that wasn't probably the best thing. And so to my nigga Boom, Boom
he definitely rolled.
was one of the people like, act like he was like, nigga, fall the fuck back, like, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, this is, who knows if this lunatic had done something, maybe it could be somebody that got hurt, even if it wasn't me. Now I'm gonna be honest, I had 100% faith in the person because I think she was also. This is the thing that I thought she was dumb with. She was tunnel vision. So she's gripping her shit and looking straight at me. And I think, was it mine? Someone, so I kind of go in front of them. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Reach for it. Do it. But she's also not realizing, first of all, at this point, I think Myron got his shit already. And this other dude right here got his shit.
So basically what he's saying is that his security was on hand. Now, I'm not a person that has to have security. I've never paid for security. I don't know what it's like to have security. But I'm sensible enough to know that if there's danger around, I'm not going to egg on the danger so that my security now has to react to something that could be de-escalated if I was smarter and just move the fuck out the way. Now, a lot of people have egos. That's cool. But this is a woman we're talking about, Akademiks. A woman who had her hand on the strap, allegedly, because after this happened, they made everybody move over to the left and move out the way because the door entrance she was standing at, she was holding her gun, I guess, and she was prepared to shoot down the way, I guess. I don't know. Allegedly. Nobody saw it on camera. This is just what they're saying happened. He's saying it happened. I'm not going to be the one to egg something on. I don't care if I got something on me or not. That's what people don't understand. Even if you are holding, even if you got a gun on you, what is the point of trying to act hard so that you have to have a shootout? It don't make no fucking why? What does that make? What sense does that make? It makes no sense. And what if this girl was his demise? Do you know how fucking pitiful that would be? Do you know how? Oh my God! If this girl was the end of DJ Akademiks, out of all the shit that's ever happened in life, out of all the people to ever go at Akademiks, out of all the people who has ever threatened Akademiks, the person to take him out was an IG model, his biggest nemesis. His biggest nemesis. That is his kryptonite. IG models are his kryptonite. And one almost took him out. They almost was smoking on Akademiks pack. What you think would have happened if that would have? What do you think Freddie would have said? Oh man. I mean, in all honesty, I'm glad that didn't happen. I don't wish death on anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? Akademiks deserves to live just like the next man. He deserves to prosper just like the next man. I don't wish nothing bad on that guy. But if that would have happened, oh my God. It would have been fun. It would have been hooked up. Now, all right. Look. Let's get away from Akademiks. All right. Let's stop fucking with Akademiks. Akademiks, it's all right, bro. She didn't really mean to do. She pulled a gun on me. That bitch pulled a gun on me. I ain't gonna let that happen to me ever again. All right, man. The fuck out of here. Now, we got to talk about what happened recently. Due to Netflix and their decision to put Dave Chappelle on their comedy festival lineup. Now, of course, all this controversy has come forth dealing with Dave Chappelle and his comedy specials, mainly now The Closer. And you guys seen the backlash. It was a bunch of people who were mad about something that they didn't watch or they didn't try to understand, or they did understand but still chose to carry on with a narrative because they didn't want this black man to make a point about what was actually going on. That's just the real of it. We're still talking about what's happening with some shit that's been out and could have been dissected and understood by now, but people still running with a narrative. So here's the lineup. Let me show y'all. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, and more set to perform at Netflix's 2022 Comedy Festival. Now, let's read some of this. We got to read some of it because I need y'all to see how these outlets put this shit. Because, of course, Dave Chappelle is going to be the face of this due to controversy. Now, it said, despite controversy surrounding his latest comedy special, The Closer, Netflix has announced that Dave Chappelle will play its Netflix Is a Joke 2022 Comedy Festival. Let's get this out the way. Don't want to get no copyright strikes. The fest, which was originally planned for 2020 before it was delayed due to the V, will take place from April 29th to May 8th, 2022 across 25 Los Angeles venues. Other comedians featured at the Stacked Festival include John Mulaney, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer. Sorry, I had to do that. Amy Schumer, David Letterman, Tina Fey, Tim Robinson, Jerry Seinfeld, some more, whatever. Now, let me tell y'all, man. Let me tell y'all how they have been playing this. They have brought this man to the court. What is that? What does Charlamagne say? The court of public opinion. They have brought this man to the court of public opinion, and they've already convicted him of being a bigot, transphobic, homophobic, all of this, right? So not only did Complex pick it up, but of course, the LGBTQ Nation verified account on Twitter said Netflix announces Dave Chappelle as up-and-coming festival headliner despite ongoing controversy. Now, let's see what they said in their article. Can we see that? Let's see. It seems in the eyes of Netflix, Dave Chappelle can do no wrong. Oh, don't you just love the starting? They're supposed to get you mad. They're supposed to irritate you. They're supposed to trigger you off the bat. But let's keep going. It seems in the eyes of Netflix, Dave Chappelle can do no wrong. The streaming service continues to throw its support behind the comedian who has repeatedly perpetuated transphobia and anti-LGBTQ sentiment. Despite the controversy surrounding Chappelle's Netflix special, The Closer, he announced he is a transgender exclusionary radical feminist turf before launching into a derogatory diatribe about transgender women's genitals. Netflix recently announced he will be one of the headliners for his comedy festival, Netflix Is a Joke, the festival taking place in Los Angeles in April and May. Okay. Now, they say Netflix has stood by Dave Chappelle. No, I will not like to answer your question. Matter of fact, I'm going to get out of here before y'all start popping up on my shit out of nowhere. All I have to say with that is you can see the narrative that they're pushing. Now, with what they're saying about, like, it's funny because they use certain jokes that he used in his special, but did not tie them into what he tied those jokes into, which was the racial issue. And you want to see how confused motherfuckers are about what's really happening? This is another reason why I want to talk about this. Let me take a drink of water before I read this shit, because this motherfucker posted a lot. There is a guy named Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Let me show you this guy. Will Wheaton. Matter of fact, let me show you what he has in his fucking bio. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Do they? Do they, Will Wheaton? Let's talk about this, Will. Will went on his Facebook to post something about Dave Chappelle and his distaste for Dave's special and the things that Dave has said. I want to show y'all something. Will Wheaton, the man who has hashtag, you know, the performative shit that some of these white people be doing just to act like they give a fuck but really don't. This guy, Will Wheaton, said, for anyone who genuinely doesn't understand why I feel as strongly as I do about people Like Dave Chappelle making transphobic comments that are passed off as jokes, I want to share a story that I hope will help you understand and contextualize my reaction to his behavior. Now, I want to read this because there is a bigger point to this, and I want to be able to say something because this dude typed out a lot and told a whole story about how he did something wrong just to try to make or try to justify his trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. All right, you're gonna see the whole entire hole in his story. Now, he said, when I was 16, I played ice hockey almost every night at a local rink. I was a goalie, and they always needed a goalie, so I could show up, put on my gear, and just wait for some team to call me into the ice. It was a lot of fun. One night, I played a couple hours of pickup with some really great dudes. They were friendly. They were funny. They enjoyed the game. They treated me like I was part of their team. They welcomed me. After we were finished, we were all in the locker room getting changed into our regular clothes. Before I tell you what happened next, I want to talk specifically about comedy. See, he threw Eddie Murphy into this too, which is crazy. I want to talk about comedy, specifically about comedy and how much I loved it when I was growing up. I listened to records and watched comedy specials whenever I could. One of the definitive comedy specials for me and my friends was Eddie Murphy's Delirious from 1983. It had bits that still kill me. The ice cream song, Aunt Bunny falling down the stairs, mom throwing the shoe, really funny stuff. He goes on to say, there's also extensive homophobic material that is just fucking appalling and inexcusable. Long stretches of this comedy film are devoted to mocking gay people using the slur that starts with the F over and over and over again. Young Will, who watched this with his suburban white upper middle class friends in his privileged bubble, thought it was the funniest, edgiest, dirtiest thing he'd ever heard. It killed him, and all of it was dehumanizing to gay men. All of it was cruel. All of it was bigoted. All of it was punching down, and I didn't know any better. I accepted the framing. I developed a view of gay men as predatory, somehow less than straight men, absolutely worthy of mockery and contempt. Always good for a joke, though. Let me put this in another way. A comedian who I thought was one of the funniest people on the planet totally normalized making a mockery of gay people, and because I was a privileged white kid raised by privileged white parents, there was nobody around me to challenge that perception. See how he tried to disarm people by talking about his privilege? He tried to disarm people by talking about that. I peeped that. For much of my teen years, I was embarrassingly homophobic, and it all started with that comedy special. First of all, you and everybody else, you're not the only one, guy. You and everybody else, and there's still some people that are the same way. Matter of fact, to even try to compare Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle, especially the special from 1983 to a special in 2021, where Dave Chappelle doesn't even say a fraction of the type of shit that Eddie was saying or that any other comedian at the time was saying. Like, first of all, this is the guy, once again, I said, that put hashtag Black Lives Matter in his bio, but is sitting here using two black comedians talking about homophobic slurs as if there aren't a fucking plethora of comedians of all different races that have said crazy shit about the LGBT community. But you use these guys, Black Lives Matter, Mr. Will Wheaton, Mr. Performative ass motherfucker. Let's keep going. Let me put, matter of fact, let's go to the bottom, because he's gonna finish the story. He said, let's go back to the locker room story. So I'm talking with these guys, and we're all just laughing and having a good time, and we're doing that sports thing where you talk about the great plays and feel like you're a part of something special. And then, without even realizing what I was doing, that awful word came out of my mouth. Blah, blah, blah. Agate, I said. The room fell silent, and that's when I realized every single guy in this room was gay. They were from a team called the Blades, and I just really fucked up. And then somebody said, do you have any gay friends? He said, yes, defensively. Then he said he lied. They say that all the time. And then he was like, I was so embarrassed and horrified, I realized I had basically said the N-word. No, you didn't. In context, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to apologize. I wanted to beg forgiveness, but I was a stupid 16-year-old with pride and ignorance and fear all over myself, so I lied to try and get out of it. They must not love themselves very much, he said with quite disappointment. Nobody said another word to me. I felt terrible. I shoved my gear into my bag and left as quickly as I could. First of all, white people are great at telling stories to a point where they will try to put this whole narrative. This is a narrative he's putting out there. This is a narrative he's putting out there about Dave Chappelle and what and this is what he's doing to try to demonize a black man with hashtag Black Lives Matter in his bio. He said, that happened over 30 years ago, and I think about it all the time. I'm mortified and embarrassed, so regretful that I said such a hurtful thing. I said it out of ignorance, but I still said it, and I said it because I believe these men who were so cool and kind, and just like all the other men I played with, were somehow less than, I guess, everyone, because that had been normalized for me by culture and comedy. A huge part of that normalization was through entertainment that dehumanized gay men in the service of jokes. And as someone who thought jokes were great, I accepted it. I mean, nobody was making fun of me that way, and I was the main character. So, first of all, you forgot that you're white. I know you. This is what I mean. When I read his whole privilege shit, when I said that was to disarm people, that's exactly what it was for. But listen to how he words this. I mean, nobody was making fun of me that way, and I was the main character. So, okay, let's debunk that at the end. Let me read this. He said, I doubt very much that any of those men will be reading this today, but if so, I am so sorry, deeply, profoundly, totally regret this. I've spent literally my entire life since this happened making amends and doing what's best to be the strongest ally I can be. I want to do everything I can to prevent another kid from believing the same bigotry I believed because I was ignorant and privileged. So this stuff that Chappelle did, this is the part right here. Listen up. He said, so this stuff that Chappelle did, that all these cishet, I think that's what you say. I think that's how you say it. Cishet white men are so keen to defend. I believe them when they say that it's not a big deal, because it's not a big deal to white dudes. But for a transgender person, these jokes normalize hateful, ignorant, bigoted behavior towards them. These jokes contribute to a world where transgender people are constantly under threat of violence because transgender people have been safely, acceptably dehumanized, and it's all okay because they were dehumanized by a black man. And the disingenuous argument that it's actually racist to hold Chappelle accountable for this, get the fuck out of here. First of all, my guy, with the hashtag Black Lives Matter in your bio, take that shit the fuck out. Because you didn't hear what the fuck that man said either. Now, I seem to recall watching The Closer, and I seem to recall Dave Chappelle tying in his jokes that were aimed at that group with the racial issue. As a matter of fact, I seem to recall Dave Chappelle saying, I don't hate you, I'm jealous. How are you making so much progress and we've been trying for years and we ain't got nowhere at all? Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that shit. Where is that in your whole statement, Will Wheaton, with the hashtag Black Lives Matter in your fucking bio? Oh, where is, how is it harder for Muhammad Ali or for Cassius Clay to change his name to Muhammad Ali than it was for Bruce Jenner to become Caitlyn? You didn't want to address that, Mr. Will Wheaton, with the hashtag Black Lives Matter in your bio. It's crazy how they try to use that. And then on top of that, let's talk about this. those jokes that contribute to a world where transgender people are constantly under threat of violence because transgender people have been safely, acceptably dehumanized? How about black people? Have you heard of black people? Have you? So it's cool to joke about everybody else. And it's cool to not think about other jokes being dehumanizing or having people constantly under threat of violence. Only this group, right? We have to protect everyone. Don't get it fucked up. We have to protect everyone. We have to be there for everyone. We have to be kind to everyone. We have to make sure that we love one another. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck what your sexuality is. I don't care what you identify as. If you care about human beings like I care about human beings, I fuck with you. You are a friend to me. You are an ally to me. But when you try to play the fucking the pain Olympics, the oppression Olympics, the who was more discriminized against Olympics, that's when I say get the fuck out my face. Dave Chappelle said a lot in his special that people keep skipping over, and it's very easy to go to that shit and hear it. It's so easy to go and, oh, you know how many people that saw the headlines of what Dave was saying and was like, Dave really went to this level? Like, damn, he really was talking that shit to these people like that? Like, come on, man, Dave ain't like that. Oh, man. Several people had to go and watch this shit and be like, yeah, so I watched that special and I didn't see where y'all said he did this and he did that, and I don't see it. Where did Dave Chappelle, hold up, I'm confused. And then to only quote certain jokes as if they aren't jokes. Listen, and then he goes on to lie again. He said, I love dark humor. Oh, do you? Do you? I love smart, clever jokes that make us think, that challenge authority, that make powerful people uncomfortable. I don't need a lecture from some dude in a wraparound sunglasses and a get-er-done tank top about how I don't understand comedy and I need to stick to acting. I don't need a First Amendment lecture from someone who doesn't understand the concept of consequences for exercising speech the government can't legally prohibit. Literally every defense of Chappelle's jokes centers white cishet men and our experience at the expense of people who have to fight with every breath simply to exist in this world. How do you forget about black people? God damn, that's so crazy. Literally every queer person I know, and I know a lot, is hurt by Chappelle's actions. Talk about the ones that aren't and who actually heard what he said. Talk about those people who put two and two together and realized what the actual problem was that he was focused on. Why don't you talk about them instead of the ones that didn't watch the shit? Because I can guarantee you, those queer people that you are talking about, the ones that you say you know a lot of, are the ones that didn't watch shit and form their opinion because everybody else is mad. Matter of fact, where is your outrage on the one trans individual who tried to organize that walkout at Netflix, who ended up getting they tweets dug up about how they was homophobic and how they was being racist towards people? Nobody wants to talk about that, but they want to focus on Dave Chappelle because guess what? Let me break it down for you. Surprise, I have the inside. I know what the fuck is going on. This is not a mistake. This is not a mistake. This is on purpose. You want to know why it's on purpose? Let me take a goddamn drink before I let you know what the fuck is going on. Now, it's racking your brain, ain't it? Why these people keep trying to cancel Dave Chappelle for something that is clearly understandable. It's clearly understandable. It's clear as day. It's common sense. This person, like you got to understand something. It's fucking us up because we all seen it and we all know what angle Dave was taking. And the fact that people are trying to cancel him for something that he literally didn't do, but they're running with a narrative because that's what they want to do, lets me know what's really going on. This cancel culture shit, it's a systematic thing. It isn't just people just going on the internet and canceling somebody. It's systematic. Big corporations are behind this shit. There's money put into this shit. And you want to know why this is happening to Dave Chappelle? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I think this is happening to Dave Chappelle. I seem to recall Dave being on top of the world. Made a comeback, signed the deals with Netflix. He put out some comedy specials. He got a little bit of backlash here and there for what he said. But that's usual. Everybody was getting backlash. It was cancel culture all over the place. He was trying to get canceled. They was like, whatever, these are jokes. We know Dave Chappelle. We know his catalog. We know what he's about. We understand what it is. Dave Chappelle has made fun of everybody in his whole entire career. If you do not know Dave Chappelle or are a fan or have watched anything he's done in the past, you have no right to have an opinion on the shit that my guy is doing. Now, let me tell you why this is happening. Dave Chappelle on top of the world doing all these specials. Then Dave Chappelle does something unheard of. Something that I don't think anybody, I can't think of one person that has ever done this in their lifetime with a huge network. And I'm talking about a network that's worth billions. People that care about the dollar first and fuck your feelings. I've never seen this happen. Dave Chappelle did a call to action. If you guys remember, you know, Dave Chappelle put out these videos on his Instagram, you know, some of these little deep, I wouldn't call them stand-up or comedy or anything. It was just like a conversation. He put these videos up. And one video of him somewhere, I forgot what venue he was at, but he was doing a special and he decided to take the time to talk about how these entities put up his Chappelle show without talking to him, without his permission, without even without even breaking him off with some money from the shit. All using his name, his face, and his people that he still fuck with today, the Neil Brennans of it all, and the Donnell Rollins, and rest in peace to Charlie Murphy, rest in peace to Charlie Murphy. All these different people who he still, Bill Burr, all these people that he's built that shit with, they're not seeing nothing from it. Well, Neil Brennan being a writer from it, he was seeing a little bit from it. But he put a call to action, something that has never been done before. And when he told everybody, because everybody, the majority, this is another reason why he can't get canceled. The majority of people, when they heard Dave say, stop watching the Chappelle show, stop streaming it on HBO, on Netflix, whatever they got that shit on, stop streaming it until they give me my shit. And what happened? People stop streaming it. And what's the deal with these corporations? It don't matter who it is. It don't matter how big the show is. It don't matter what it is. If it's not streaming, if it's not doing shit, they don't want it. And they clearly put it up there because they knew the Chappelle show is a fucking hot ticket. It's an automatic. And they knew they were going to make a lot of money off of it. But when he called for the call to action, people responded and they did exactly what he asked. And they ended up giving that man the rights to his name. Because if y'all don't know, they own that man's name. The Chappelle show. Chappelle, that is his name. They own that name. And they tried to strip that from him for years. And then he finally got the shit back, got his rights, and is getting paid. He got a nice little chunk of money. Because, and rightfully so, for all creators and all artists and anybody who does the groundwork to create some shit, they deserve the better chunk of that revenue, and not the people that just said, hey, here, sign this, and we're going to put the money behind your promotion, who don't do shit but just sit there and watch the fucking money come in. Motherfuckers put in the groundwork. They tour. They come up with new ideas to become more profitable. They have to hire musicians and dancers and pyro and all this other shit, and they tour fucking 364 days out of the fucking year. You gotta understand, these labels don't give a fuck. These big corporations don't give a fuck. It was unheard of that this happened, and it actually was a successful thing. So I think that this is in retaliation of Dave Chappelle getting what he got from these big corporations. I feel like I said, this cancel culture isn't just something where people just go on the internet and type. This is systematic. They make sure they put this shit in place to be trending and to have these, like that story I read off to you from that Will guy with the hashtag Black Lives Matter in his bio. His story that he posted is trending everywhere. And it's not because his story was just so great, because it wasn't at all. It's because there is an agenda to try to cancel this man. What happens every time somebody gains their masters? Because it's not unheard of to happen. But what happens every time somebody gains the masters or gains the rights to something that they did? And these industry motherfuckers don't like it. They either kill you or they destroy your motherfucking career. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I can't say too much. All I can say is what I've seen the trend of. That's all. That's all I can say. What I've seen the trend of, that's it. That's it. And with that said, GMS fam, it's been a great motherfucking show today. We got the music review later tonight, man. Let your peoples know, man. All the artists out there, if you got some music, you got to send it in to the GMS show, man. The GMS show 50 at gmail.com. Send in originals, man. I don't want to get copyright strike. Don't send no samples and no shit like that. Send original music with original beats, all your rhymes, all that shit, or you singing, or you whatever you're doing, man. Send that shit to the GMS show 50 at gmail.com. We gonna do the music review tonight at 8 p.m. Everybody in this motherfucker pull back up tonight at 8 p.m. because that music review is lit. Ask anybody in the chat right now that has pulled up to the music reviews. It's always lit, always dope-ass music, always a good time. The chat, you get to vote on if you think the song is fire or trash. So I'm going to need y'all participation. That's why I said pull up. You got to pull up, all right? Now put a GMS in the motherfucking comments. Let's get to it. Let's go. GMS in the comments. GMS in the comments. Yeah. Shout out to Brim Dog. I see you, brother. Shout out to Ralph S. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go. They got both. Prophylactic. Shout out Prophylactic Tactics in the building. Team 642 Areas, baby. G Wonder Man, the one Veil. I see y'all. Take that nap. Yeah, if you got to take a midday nap, take a midday nap. Grits and Gravy in the building. I want to see y'all back here tonight at 8 p.m. sharp. The music review is lit. We're going to have some shit in the air as always. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit the subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell to get the notifications when we go live for every show, because we do a lot of shows. Follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. Hit me on the Cash App if you are feeling generous today. I would most appreciate it. Hit the links below that my guy JR is about to post. We got the GMS beats and the GMS shop. What up, Jerson Furlow? Lady Aries in the building. Click those links, man, if you want to hear some dope beats. You hear this beat, you hear this motherfucker right now. You know this shit cold. Go ahead and go listen to more GMS beats right there. You see the link? And then go hit that GMS shop. Go get a custom GMS jersey with the 420 on the front, whatever name you want on the back. They come in different colors, white, black, and gray. We also got GMS t-shirts, GMS basketball jerseys that you can customize with your name on the back, and GMS rolling trays for those who partake in rolling up the devil's lettuce. But I'm a man of God. I'm a man of God. Balaj, what's happening, man? What up, Pedro's Thoughts, C-Mo, Mickey Knox? She tried to shoot me! The bitch tried to shoot me! Ah! She tried to shoot me! The bitch tried to shoot me! Ah!